Howdy, everybody. Everybody doing well? All right, we're going to do things that you kind of used to, yet a little bit different here. What we're going to do is we're going to have a friendly debate. This is not Democrats versus Republicans, so calm down. There'll be no moving to Canada when we're done. What we've got here is SEO versus SEM. How many of you have any idea what I just said? Okay, good. You are in the right room at Megatech. Perfect. So, we're going to start with the lady closest to me here who will be representing SEO. Please introduce yourself to everybody. Tell them who you are.
Hi, I'm Katrina Benton, Kodiak, Alaska, on Alaska Real Estate Team. I'm in charge of internet lead generation for teams in 8 different states, and I'm a technology instructor, and I travel all around the country teaching agents how to work SEO into their websites and their blogs.
Now, for those who do not know what SEO is, what is SEO?
SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and what that is putting content out there that'll rank on page 1 of Google.
Okay, page 1 of Google, we like that. All right, representing the other side of the debate today, our SEM representative. Who are you? Where are you here from, and all that stuff?
My name's John Verdeaux. I'm the Director of Operations and Marketing for the Holly McRae Group in Knoxville, Tennessee. One of my primary responsibilities is internet lead gen. We've been in business for about 6 years, and in 2015, we did about 2.4 million in GCI and just over 76 million in volume.
Wow. And that is in which region?
Southeast region, Chad.
I don't think we say it like that. I think it is said a little bit differently. The award-winning Southeast region. Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. All right, which just broke 10,000 agents. Okay, so
shameless plug.
Shameless plug for the Southeast region. Okay. So we're going to start with you, Katrina. Give us one tip for success using SEO for everybody.
So I think that a lot of people get into trying to create a blog or a website, and they get distracted with all the different possibilities. I think the best way to approach when you're just starting out is to look at the models that are out there, like KW.com, and look at how that gives us all free leads, because KW took the time and the money and invested in a website that's really strong in SEO, and we all get free leads from that. So do your best to replicate that, use that as a model. I use active ring blueprints. There's blogging blueprints that are just really like find and replace, fill in the blanks, and I use the blueprints, and then everything ranks on Google, and then we get leads.
Sounds pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
Okay, easy. We'll talk about that a little bit more. John, from the other side, let's talk about one tip you've got for everybody when it comes to SEM.
Search engine marketing. One main tip and one thing you need to make sure that you're doing with your ads is making sure that they have a clear call to action for the right audience. And what I mean by that is your ads need to fill a need or solve a problem. What I mean, a great example of filling a need would be an ad for a home search in a certain area at a certain price point. Something that would engage somebody to click on that because they might be looking at homes in that area. On the other side, solving a problem, getting your home value. A home value landing page would be a fantastic call to action for the SEM side, and that's done very well for us. Having the right audience, making sure that that ad is being targeted towards people that would actually be interested in looking at it, so it ties into what they're either searching for or looking for online.
Okay, so one of the challenges when it comes to that call to action in your situation is you're limited in characters. You have to get to the point really fast when you're selling somebody on one of these ads, correct?
Right.
Okay, so an extra tip to add in that for all of you, the first words you put into any of your ads, if you're going to go down this route, should be a verb. They give them something to do. They want to search. They want to look. They want to find. Give them something to do as a verb, as your first word. You will increase your click-through rate. Okay. All right, so there's tip 1. We've got SEO on SEM. Let's go on. Let's go to tip number 2. Katrina, what do we got for tip number 2?
Be really, really persistent and really, really consistent when you're creating content. Build something that's evergreen, something that is relevant today, tomorrow, 3 years from now. And just build content daily, and that way, over time, you build up a volume of content, which will feed you. It'll just be a machine that just feeds you leads for years and years and years. Like our team in Alaska generates leads today off content that I wrote 3 years ago.
So that's what you mean when you're talking about evergreen. You're talking about something that's going to be written today, yet it'll still be relevant years from today.
Yes.
Can you give us an example of something like that?
So when I write about a subdivision, I'm going to put in there, description of houses, all about the area, those kind of things, like what they might expect to find in that subdivision. But I'm not going to put in any information that's going to change next month. So I'm not going to put in there the average sales price is $250,000. I'm going to say click here to see all the available homes and link that back over to one of my KW websites.
Okay, and you said that we need to be consistent with
Yes.
that, and deliberate, was that your other word that you said?
Persistent.
Persistent. Sounds like something John Davis would teach us to do day in and day out,
Yes.
to be persistent. What do you mean by that? People will always ask me, they said, so if I blog regularly, is that like once a year? That's regularly, I did it once every year.
No.
What do you consider?
I'm adding content every single day. And we're adding content that's evergreen, and we're doing it every day, so Google knows, oh, this person just published something, I'm going to go ahead and bump that up to page 1. And what I mean about persistent is a lot of the time I see people write 3 blogs and they don't get leads, and then they just give up. And you're not going to generate 1,000 leads off of 3 blogs. You're going to generate thousands of leads if you have thousands of blog posts out there or community pages on your website. You really want to make sure, though, that you're persistent, consistent about it. You don't want to go and write 100 blogs this month and then nothing next month. That would be kind of a killer for Google.
At first, though, they don't have to go daily like you're going. They can start
When
every
I
other
started-
week and then build up to it.
Yeah, when I first started, it took me 3 hours to write my first blog post, and so I had a goal of 1 a week. And I got through that to where it was easier and it took me less time, and then I was 3 a week. And then it kind of grew and grew and grew from
All right,
there.
so when you get off stage here, how long is it going to take you to write the blog about this experience?
Until I get home.
Okay. So it won't take you 3 hours.
But no,
anymore
it'll
to
take
sit
me
down and write a
20
blog.
minutes, 20
Okay.
minutes.
So we're going to time block for a large time now, knowing
Yeah.
that we're going to be able to shorten that as we get better
Yeah.
at this.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like anything else that we're doing. All right, John, let's go to the SEM side again. Give me another tip that we can share with everybody.
Okay, so search engine marketing, the beauty of it is you don't have to have any SEO to do it and generate leads right away. You can start an ad tomorrow and start getting leads the next day or even that day. But a lot of people will ask me, well, where do I get started? I have no idea what to do. And I have a limited budget, so how should I go about this? And the nice thing is, especially in the day and age that we're in, is Facebook is a fantastic place to start. Not only can you start on a very limited budget for somebody that doesn't have a ton of money to spend on marketing, but if you target your ads correctly and doing a good job with that or an ISA, it could be, the ROI on it can be tremendous. When we started out, Chad, doing Facebook ads for a long time, we worked on a $100 a month budget and generated, 100 leads in about 6 weeks. Just on $100. And we did that for quite a while until we ramped it up a little bit. But it doesn't take a tremendous amount of money to start doing ad campaigns and working, especially in Facebook, to start generating those leads on the buyer and seller side.
Okay, so you threw out a term in there, ROI, that I'm going to guess most people know, yet what do you mean when you say ROI to people?
So return on investment. With search engine marketing, unlike SEO, it's not free. Especially with Google, it can be pricey depending on the market that you're in. So what you want to make sure is the money that you're spending for leads is turning a large enough profit where it makes sense for you to continue to do that. Don't start all these campaigns and then not be able to work the leads and spend all this money for no reason whatsoever. The nice thing is SEM campaigns can be very fruitful, but you have to be able to convert them.
So you're holding your money accountable to results.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now you sound like a politician, though. You're telling me I should do this here in our little debate. You're telling me about this. How quick can this work? I mean, what was your fastest? I'm going to put you on the spot for it, if you can even remember. How quick was it you created an ad and you had a lead coming back to you? Do you remember how quick that's happened for you?
I'll give you an example. We just started a new seller targeted for a certain area in town, Facebook ad. Get your home value in a certain area, and we had our first registered lead, I think, within 3 hours.
Okay, so they could create an ad now, and by the time Megatech was done, they could have...
Yes, it takes, Facebook will have to approve it. There are some guidelines there, but once it's approved, it's live, and it's in the news feed of people that you're targeting. So if they click through and then they register on your website, that's a lead.
So I could put 3 hours to making a ad work, or I could put 3 hours to writing my first blog post.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. One just costs money, one just costs time,
Correct.
which is money, of course, in the same regard. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go for a third tip. put you on the spot for a third tip. Katrina, what have you got for one more tip in the SEO world?
Leverage the research and development that Keller Williams has already done for us. I don't have a research and development budget that's near what theirs is, and they've already given us all the tools and systems that we need. With our market leader site, with our place your site, there's already really good SEO on those, and so just build off of those. Really leverage the training, and whenever there's a tech class in your market center, show up for it and implement it. It's not beneficial for anyone to be a professional student, and you need to implement when after you're done going to these tech classes. The other thing that I would really like to say is that you really need to master a model and really look at the model and how does that work. So for example, like Active Rain, those blogs, I looked at those and then replace, test it this way and that way. And then it all links back to my Keller Williams stuff, so I can leverage that technology. I see a lot of people getting stuck in what I call paralysis by analysis, where they go out there and they see there's 15 different websites I could buy, and which one is this and that. Just listen to what our leadership says, and use your technology that you already have, and then earn the right to get creative. So that's how I looked at it when I started mine. I said, I'm going to go into this, and I'm going to look at what all the tools that are out there that I have already without spending any money, and then I'm going to dominate that. I'm going to really master that, and then get creative. And you want to be creative when you're blogging. It's not something that is just really copy paste. You have to put a little bit of personality into it.
Okay, all right, excellent. John, one more tip in the SEM world?
Make sure wherever you're sending people through your campaigns is easy to use and mobile friendly and mobile optimized. In fact, your whole website at this point should be mobile optimized. In today's day and age, it is crucially important that people are able to access your site on a mobile device and it look like it should be on a mobile device. Just to give you some perspective, I was running some numbers before I came on one of my Facebook ads, and 89.3% of the people that clicked through to that particular landing page came through a mobile device. That means almost 9 out of 10 people. So 1 out of 10 came from desktop, and that was just that ad. So had my website or the landing page not been mobile optimized and mobile friendly, I probably wouldn't have generated very much business at all, because the user experience wouldn't be good enough for people to either stay on the site or register on the site.
89.3%.
It was it was absolutely shocking. Now Google's a little different, that's about 50-50 on most of ours, but the Facebook specifically, it's very mobile dominated.
I think we know his KPA just a little bit better if he's giving us the 0.3% in there a little bit, talking about himself. All right, now, we've got you two up here on stage. Do you have the numbers to back this up? I mean, you're just up here talking, you're talking a good game, right? You're telling me some good stuff about SEO, you're telling me some good stuff about SEM. Do you have the numbers to really back this up though, Katrina?
Yeah. So my Active Rain blog has been viewed over 1 million times. Over 1 million different times consumers have landed on that through Google. And then in Anchorage, which is my biggest database because that's where I started, we have generated 14,000 free leads over the last 4 years.
14,000?
14,000 free leads.
Wow. Anybody want some leads?
I got
14,000. That's and just in your area, or
yeah.
Is that?
And so then about 2 years ago, we started replicating that everywhere else. And so none of those other databases are quite there yet, but they're all in the thousands.
So now you have said that you're working with teams across the country.
Yeah, 8 different states.
How many leads do you think, putting you on the spot, you have generated?
I'd say we're probably at about 60,000 right now. I don't know exactly.
You've generated around 60,000 leads.
Free.
Free. Yeah, you want to make sure on that one, right? 60,000 free leads. Okay. So
with my Keller Williams website.
Using what we have.
So I'm not out there, I'm not spending my money, and I'm not giving my money that I've worked so hard to earn. I'm not giving that away, and then that, makes it profitable.
It's all about profit, right? We know where it's all coming. It's all about profit. So, all right, excellent. John, do you guys really have the numbers to back this all up? You're telling me.
Well, yeah, but geez, now I feel bad. I'm talking about free leads. I'm like,
free.
I'm not talking about free leads. My leads cost money on the SEM side. Now we do generate free leads too, but on the SEM side, yes. So Google and Facebook are our 2 platforms that we run SEM campaigns on right now. And on Google, we're generating anywhere from 50 to 80 registered leads a month. Now that's people who come to the site, put their information in, and it hits our CRM.
So that's not counting all the clicks, that's counting
Correct.
people who actually fill in the form.
Right, so when we're measuring success, we're looking at registered leads, and then we're looking at appointments, and then we're looking at all the way down to closing.
Okay.
On the listing side, we're getting anywhere on the Google side from 20 to 30 seller leads a month. And then on Facebook, we don't spend as much money on Facebook right now. We're getting 20 to 40 buyer leads a month, and then anywhere from 10 to 20 seller, these are registered leads as well, a month.
Okay, so you both have the numbers to back this stuff up if we're making
It does work, the ROI.
What do you think, I'm going to put you on the spot again, John, not a question I warned you was coming in anyway. What do you think your team's listing success rate is? What's your conversion rate when you go on listing appointments?
Our current close rate right now is about 50%, 50-60%.
So you're telling us that every month you're generating 20 to 30 listing leads, which means you're taking 10 to 15 listings every month, right there off just that lead source. Forget everything else.
Give or take, yeah, depending on their situation, but yes, we are generating those appointments. We're generating anywhere from 4 to 6 closings a month from SEM campaigns on the listing side, and then anywhere from 5 to 8 buyer side transactions.
Okay, so it's working and it's bringing closings and all of that. All right, so I'm a big believer in the one thing. It's pretty important in my world. I love the material and all that, so I want to make sure before we get off the stage here that we leave everybody with one thing. So, Katrina, before they decide whether it's SEO or SEM, and there will be a vote in a moment, before you decide whether it's SEO or SEM, and this is your last chance, what's the one thing they can take away from this panel that they can do, that they can have success with to follow in your footsteps with the SEO model?
I really wish that in a minute I could explain to you guys how SEO works and all of that, but what I can do is direct you to the free webinars on Active Rain about how to blog, and they're called Blogging Blueprints, and he's done a wonderful job of putting those all together into webinars that you can watch on your own free time, and you can learn how to blog and follow the same model that I'm following.
That's it. So that's the one thing they should do, is they should say, if SEO is my thing, I need to go figure out how to blog, and that's what you're saying is their best resource.
That's the very best that I can find that's available online. They can book my class, but it's probably easier if they just watch it online.
They probably go watch it online.
Yeah.
If they want to know more about it, I know Bob is out there.
Bob is out there. I go bug him.
This guy named Ben Kinney is kind of behind it, so they all know him as well. On the other side, John, one thing they should take away from this if SEM is the path they're going to follow.
So just like SEO, SEM, you need to be consistent and you need to have a target audience. And what you need to make sure is, we always tell people, if you're going to go down the SEM road, you need to determine what's your area that you're going to work, whether it be a zip code or a part of town or a community, and all of your ads need to be targeted for that area. It's very difficult to compete, and it's very expensive if you want to do it on a city level or a regional level. So pick the area that you want to work, pick your niche, and all of your ads should go right back to that niche. Be as hyper-local as you possibly can, just like you would in SEO, just so you can.
Okay. Anything either of you want to add to the final chance of the debate before I have them vote?
Yeah, I would say for those starting out in real estate, new, really don't have a lot of tech backgrounds, SEM will get you leads faster than SEO.
All right.
And I would say,
And the last word?
for those of us starting out in real estate who don't have a lot of money and we have time, if we have lots of time on our hands, learn to blog.
All right. Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask each and every one of you to do, because we are in the tech session, so this should be something you understand. Pull out your phone. Pull out your phone. Go to Twitter. We all tweet, and my intention, I told the team backstage that by the time I left stage, we were going to be trending. So, I'm going to ask you to pull out your phone, I'm going to ask you to go onto Twitter, and I'm going to ask you hashtag KWMC. Let's all use the same hashtag, KWMC, and then all we want to know, SEO or SEM. Let's put it out there, let's have the vote. Let's see at Keller Williams whether it's SEO, SEM, and whichever way it happens, let's get ourselves trending on Twitter. Thank you very much to both of you. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great Mega Tech.